Hi, I'm Anthony from learningtoplaytheguitar.net, and in this video I'm going to show you how to improvise using the A minor pentatonic scale. To improvise, you simply make up your own melodies sticking to the notes of the scale. So here I'm going to play the A minor pentatonic scale over 12-bar blues in the key of A, showing you what you can play using those notes. To practice improvising with the A minor pentatonic scale, we're going to play it over a backing track, which is a 12-bar blues in A. So first thing we're going to do is play this scale pattern up and down with one beat per note along in time with the backing track. And so remembering with the fingering pattern too, it's first finger on the 5th fret as we go through, little finger on the 4th fret, and when we go over to the other strings, for example here on the A string, it's first finger on the 5th fret and 3rd finger on the 7th fret as we go through. But you'll see that with the diagram and with my fingers as we play up and down the scale. So that will be the first step. So I'll put the music on and we'll get started. So one beat per note to get us going. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can hear as I'm doing that it fits quite well with the music. So the cool thing is an A minor pentatonic scale will work over a blues in A. So you can play that note more or less anywhere and it'll work really well. So to make that a bit more interesting, now we're going to play that using 2 notes per beat, or what is known as 8th notes. So 8 notes in a bar are 4 beats, so just twice as fast. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So it sounds a bit more exciting when you go twice as fast, of course. So you can also, when you go fast, you can also go slower. So let's now play notes that have worth 2 beats, so 2 beat long notes. For example, I might start here some of these in the middle of the scale, which is the 7th fret here on the D string or the 4th string. So for example, 2 beat notes. 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the 2 beat notes. You can play even slower. If I go backwards, I might do 4 beat notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we have these rhythms. We have single beat notes, half beat notes or 8th beat notes, a 2 beat note and a 4 beat note. We'll mix the rhythms up. I'm just going to play up and down a bit, mixing the rhythms. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that begins to sound more like a proper guitar solo when the rhythms are mixed up. So the trick is to vary your rhythm. So I was just playing up and down the scale at this point. So the next step is to not just play up and down the scale, of course, because it gets a bit boring and predictable, is to maybe skip some of the notes in the scale as we go up and down. So for example, I might do this, starting it in the middle here on this 7th fret note on the D string, which is A. And backwards. So it breaks things up a bit, it's not so predictable. Nice and simple. I kept the rhythm simple there as well, of course, just to show you that. So the next step is to probably repeat some notes as you go through. So that's an example of repeating notes, so you can sort of emphasise certain notes that you're playing, which is quite cool. So then from that we can also then, if you come up with little phrase ideas, let's say like 3 or 4 notes that might sound cool, you might use them. So even something simple like that works quite well. You hear that in lots of solos from blues and rock and jazz and everything else. So to make the solo sound a bit cooler sounding, we're going to add a few extra things into it. So in one of my previous videos, in my blues and A solo, I had some bends thrown in. So the bends, again, where we place the fingers under the string and we push them up. So the bend points in the A minor pentatonic scale are here on the 7th fret of the G string. I'm going to just thumb on top, push my fingers under, use a couple of fingers to press, and of course if you bend and repeat that note, it sounds quite cool. The other spot you can bend is here. I'll use my 3rd finger over here, I normally use my little finger on the 8th fret of the B string, and bend here if you want. Remember trying to bend up to that note. So here's one way of doing it. And then on the top you can also bend the 8th fret note as well here on the 1st string. So that's the sound of blues and rock and roll, just those bends. So you can mix the bends into your solo now. So I might have or something like that. So another quick example of a bend might be in a lick might be this. Again. Yeah. So they sound quite cool, the old trick of bending strings in guitar solos. So you can also add slides in. So you can slide between the notes. For example, here on the 5th to the 7th fret, on the G string and the D string. Yeah, just adding a few extra things, repeating notes, sliding. So the final little piece of the puzzle might be add some hammer-ons, which where you pluck the 1st note and then hammer on down with your other finger like that. So just here on the D string, and within the A minor pentatonic pattern again, of course. Next string. Makes a smoother sound. You can also play that faster as well, whack a bend on the end. So lots of little things you can do to experiment with that solo A minor pentatonic over the blues in A. So if you come up with a good idea or phrase, don't be afraid to repeat them a few times in a row, as I was just doing in the examples I was playing. So in general with improvising, the more you practice your improvising, the better you'll get at it, as with anything on the guitar. So have fun.